Or we're recording and we're streaming, correct? Okay, and everybody's in. You want to get started, or shall I wait another moment since we opened a little late? We're going for it. So hi, everyone. I see some very familiar, beautiful faces. Thank you again for joining us. Hey, Kimberly, hi, Vance, Miss Ross, I see your face, and Reagan. I see all of you guys. Thank you so much for being here. We, like I said a few minutes ago, we are going to be joined tonight by Miss Teri Newman. She's coming to us from the great state of Washington, which is absolutely stunning, but I think today's a little rainy. So she's gonna she said it was a little rainy today. And so that's why I'm sitting outside, because it's not rainy, Teri. I don't mean to rub it in, but it is gorgeous here in North Carolina, and I'm gonna soak it up. So we're going to jump right into tonight. I am actually going to have Miss Teri introduce herself and tell us a little bit about herself, her story, and then she's going to share some really awesome topics. So if you don't already have pen and paper ready, please get some, because I have a feeling there will be plenty of nuggets for us all to grab tonight. All right, Teri, thank you. Take it away.
You're so sweet, Jody. You guys, can you hear me okay? Good? Okay. All right. So thank you so much for having me, you guys. Oh my gosh. I was thinking about this today, and I was like, this is kind of, for me, well, it's super flattering that the girls asked me, and it's kind of like sitting in for Ellen, right? I don't know that I can fill the shoes of Ellen, but, and I might need a laugh track also, because I need maybe a studio audience. So if I think I'm being funny, I'm going to just tell myself that you're laughing, and that'll make me feel better. But so I'm just filling in for Ellen tonight, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you again for having me. Again, I'm Teri Newman, and I am originally from Southern California. So yes, Jody, I'm super jealous of the nice weather. And I'm actually in the state of Oregon, but I'm at the very top of Oregon, which is just bordering the state of Washington up in the Northwest. And so I started Scentsy. I'm going on 14 years. And my background is in performing arts. Maybe some of you I have met before, and you know that. But I always tell people that because I felt like it was the farthest thing from like selling Scentsy that it could be. I thought when it came into my life, it was with a mom at my kids' school. And of course, I loved home fragrance and all the things. And I joined for many of the same reasons some of you did, of course. But it wasn't on the table. I wouldn't have thought that that was what I was going to like do or have another career. And I was also like 40 years old. And I thought, oh my gosh, I can't, what am I going to have another career? You know, I do this, I do that. I had 3 little kids at home. But I say all that because you just never know what a gift Scentsy could be to somebody. You just never know. Even if somebody is already very accomplished in a career that they're currently doing, you never know, right? We all have a different Scentsy story. I love hearing people's Scentsy stories. But back then, of course, Scentsy was a baby, and I didn't know how to spell it. I wasn't sure I was saying it correctly. And I just kind of was like, you guys got to look at this. Look at this. It's amazing. And we had moved a lot when we were younger, when we were first married. And so I was always trying to make our rentals or our apartments smell like our house. And so I've always loved home fragrance. Well, this was just on the money. I mean, the quality and what my product was not even a question. So long story short, I joined, but I was very unintentional with it. The opposite of how I feel about my business now, and the opposite of how I want my new team members to feel about their Scentsy business. Even if you feel like you're doing it on this side, you should just be doing everything you do with great intention. I did not, and I had no business plan, and I had no big plans either way, because I was like this artistic person, and I was like super right-brained, and I thought, oh, I'm not a business person. So I always look back at that, you guys, and if you've ever heard anybody talk about what's the story you tell yourself, just remember that just because you heard something your whole life, or you've convinced yourself that you are this certain person, you're not outgoing, or you're too shy, or you don't know anybody, stop telling yourself that story. Change your story. You're allowed to change your story. And whoever said that was you in the first place, maybe you just believed the wrong people along the way. So as I moved forward in my Scentsy career, I was having some pretty good success off the bat. And I had to re-examine what I was doing there. And I'm so glad I did, because of course, now it is my main thing. I do wear a few hats because I still teach performing arts and a little of this and a little of that, but that's okay. I mean, Scentsy is still like my main thing. And the coolest thing about Scentsy, aside from, the obvious, what we are doing in our products, is that I would have never thought that at 40 years old, I was going to meet so many more wonderful people in my life, and that I would have more lifelong friends forever and continue making these fantastic friends that I feel like make me better. You know what they always say about the people that surround you? You really need to think about that, because especially the older I get, I want to be wider thinking. I want to hear other people's opinions and hear other people's takes on things, because I just don't think you're doing yourself a service if you lower your ceiling, as they say. If you keep a high ceiling and you always have room for growth, then you will always be the best version of yourself, because you'll be open to learn new things. And so that's what Scentsy did for me at a time when I thought I really had just mastered wiping butts and noses at home. And I was really good at it, but that's not what I wanted to do the rest of my life. And I knew that they would not need me to do that forever. So it really came at a great time. And I am forever blessed with Scentsy coming into my world and falling into my lap. So that's kind of my story. And as we went along, I figured out that my little niche at Scentsy, and I'll talk a little bit about this at the very end, but you have to figure out what you're good at in your life, right? And sometimes that's really hard for people to look in the mirror and say, I'm good at this, because you've been told that that's arrogant, or you feel like you're being full of yourself. Well, there's a difference between being arrogant and being confident. It's really great to know what you're good at. In fact, it will put you ahead if you already know what you're good at in life. That's fantastic. Just think about what people compliment you on. Are you organized? Are you creative? Are you good with numbers? Are you a people person? Are you a good listener? Like, what are you good at? And then try to apply that to your Scentsy business. That's always like my number one advice to people, because I realized really quick, it's not that I was going to be some hotshot salesperson. Gosh, I still don't think I am, but I can describe things and I can share a belief with other people. So instead of feeling icky, like you're pushing Scentsy on people, you have to always look at that as transferring a belief. So you're transferring your belief to someone else. That's a good thing. So I knew I was a teacher already and a coach. So I knew that I could do that. So once I started building my team, I was like, okay, there it is. I can do that. That's what I'll be good at Scentsy. So, and it's okay, because you have to really kind of master everything to some degree, but your strength will lie in a lane maybe someone else's isn't. So what do we say about relationships? We're in a relationship business. Where I am weak, you are strong. We fill each other up. We fill those voids up in each other as team members. And so that is what I love so much about Scentsy. So tonight we were talking about like when you've been in it for a long time, or you just started. Everybody has something to say about it. Like, oh, I already tried that. Or, oh, that's too much. So everybody, it's like this one extreme or the other. So really, like I was talking about keeping your ceiling high, definitely think about trying new things, or maybe just looking at things a little differently. And you might just polish up your business, or you might completely take a leap in your business if you try something new or look at something a little bit differently. So I was chatting about pace in our business to stay in front of your goals. Okay. So everybody needs a pace, and I'm going to talk, to be exact, a monthly pace. All right. So May, the month of May, begins our new Scentsy calendar. Okay, this is when we have a fresh start to earn the annual awards, right? Sales and mentor. So the last 2 years have brought a lot of anxiety for many people. I'm sure that you would agree. So for me, having a plan or a map keeps me from getting overwhelmed. All right. We're our worst enemy with that sometimes. Even when you have every best intention, sometimes you have too much swirling around. It's not mapped out and you do nothing. You literally freeze. So for me, that really helps with anxiety. That helps me from feeling overwhelmed or, you know, just underproducing. Okay. So a while back, I had said it like dawned on me that, you know, I had talked to a couple other leaders about this, that after a few successful years at Scentsy, particularly, you may not realize it, but you are automatically like, you know, muscle memory mastering each month, meaning that you have a script or a pace that you're rolling through every month without even realizing it because it's just become second nature. So that being said, many newer consultants are still trying to learn this, or many of us are trying to teach it down to our teams, right? So everyone can reach their maximum success. And honestly, there are plenty of us that have been around a long time, but we could still use this blueprint. So like I said, you never want to stop learning, keep your ceiling open, okay? So I was asking myself like, well, what would have I wanted to know when I started? Now remember, I did no research. I couldn't even spell Scentsy. So I'm not the best example, right? But I would have liked to have understood the importance of the Scentsy fundamentals, okay? And we all know Scentsy fundamentals are like parties, sponsoring, customer service, self-improvement, all right? They all work together for your overall growth. Orville called them the 4 chords in a keynote years ago. And even though I thought I really understood what he was saying then, it makes way more sense to me years later. So this is what I really wish I would have grasped a little bit more. And that is that I realized that those 4 chords marry each other. I've spoke on this a few times. Maybe some of you have heard me talk on this, but I really don't think we can ever talk about the fundamentals of Scentsy enough, because the fundamentals of anything in your life, when mastered, help you work faster and smarter. Okay. So we have these 4 chords, and you could be really good at 1 or 2, but without the others, you won't really achieve the consistency and growth in your business that you're probably hoping for. So a lot of people will say, well, I can do this, but I can't recruit. Or they've just told themselves they can't recruit. Well, of course they can recruit, but the story they're telling themselves is that they can't. Okay. So it's interesting to me how they all kind of chain together. All right. And again, this is going to give you consistency and growth in your business if you can do well at all of them. Of course, you're going to be stronger at one or the other, but you have to see how they all come together. So a good progression, like a visual of this, would be like, so the more sales you get, the more commission you make, obviously. But more importantly, the more sales you get, the more likely it is that you've been doing parties of some kind, events, fundraisers, etc. Okay, which means you've positioned yourself to connect with new people and more customers. And that brings the opportunity to exercise your customer service. Okay, and that includes follow-up, which leads to a better chance of meeting someone that wants to join your team. I like to look at it like Vegas. You know, the odds have it. So the more you put yourself in front of people, the more opportunity you're going to meet somebody who would like to do what you're doing. And then this all eventually, of course, makes you a leader, which guides you to moments of self-improvement, much like this. You're committed to your business and you're taking opportunities for training, listening to trainings, and getting better at what we do. Okay. So that's that chain. Okay. So that's the fundamentals, because like every one of those links matters, but it all starts with like getting your PRV and making those new connections. So when this first came up, actually, I, with another good friend, created this program a couple years ago. We actually did a program for anybody that wanted to opt in on our team. But this is just such a great thing to even just use for yourself. Once you can get it and you see the pace and you see the blueprint, as I said, then you can teach it down to your team members and help them duplicate you. That's a really important word in our business. So I got to give props to my friend, Star Director Jeanette Dixon in Ohio, because we met during Accelerated Leadership, and Jeanette and I kind of brainstormed this, and we ran it once. And then the next year, my friend SSD Christy Ritter's up in Canada wanted to try it. So we did it together too with our team members. So it's not like this big aha. It wasn't like a program where we're giving away big prizes and all this stuff. It's just simply trying to help your team members see how they can pace their month so that they're not freaking out at the end of every month and emailing you or their sponsor and saying, I can't get my 200. And we all know that it didn't just happen. Like, they haven't gotten their 200 for a while. So this program, or this way of thinking, is very successful for new or for seasoned consultants. So what I want you to do is I want you to look at this monthly pace, and really it starts the last week of a month. Okay, so you are looking at like the last week of a month prior to the month we're going to talk about. Okay, why? Because as I go through this, we're going to go back also, and I want you guys, we're going to throw out some opportunities to share some good ideas, because I already know you guys are full of great ideas. Okay, so like the last week of the month, right? If we started this pace the last week of the month and you said, okay, so I'm going to think about my goal. What's my plan? Don't get overwhelmed. Don't overthink it. Okay. We do not have to work 8-hour days, you guys. Most of us got into Scentsy so we weren't chained to a cubicle for 8 hours a day, or we wanted to get out of that cubicle. So don't beat yourself up. I like to think of it as like, you could turn it into like a habit of 30 minutes a day. If you can do it more, if it's your main jam, awesome. But don't get overwhelmed, okay? We don't have to work 40-hour weeks. So, and also just don't surrender your month, right? You just want to get paid every month. So this is why we do this. All right, so you're preparing for the first day of the month. So I always like, at the end of the month, I encourage myself and my team members to think about like a 30-day why. So we always talk about, what's your why? And we have these big whys, and those are fantastic. But again, sometimes overwhelming. So a 30-day why, what do I want to accomplish next month, is so much more digestible. Make sense? So think of a 30-day why. Maybe do a booking blitz, do practice things that you're good at, that, or maybe that you've never tried before, that will front load that next month that's coming. Okay. So think about those last days of a month and how am I prepping to move into my next month? So let's say this was like the end of May and we're going to move into June. What's happening in June? We know lots of things happen in June at Scentsy Land. So you're preparing for it, right? So then like the first week of a month, you think about laying that groundwork, okay? Do you ask yourself, am I going to put in 500 before the 15th? That's a solid goal, honestly. And anybody that wants to be a director or is a director or higher should always have that goal. So you have it in your head. The week before, you might have had a booking blitz. You got some parties on the books, or some events, or some baskets out. Whatever you've got going, you've got that goal of 500 by the 15th. Okay, so you follow up with your booking blitz. Maybe you need to do another. Tap into those hostesses. Look for what promotions we're doing that month. This is all in the first week. Okay, so here's your goal. Ultimately, I would like to call it entries, 4 entries a month, okay? And 1 recruit. Now, of course, you can have a bigger goal, but again, digestible. So if somebody's a newer consultant and you say 4 entries, that means 4 like qualifying parties. Well, we know they're not always parties. It could be anything, right? So 4 qualifying entries could be $200. Well, 2, 4, 6, 8, that's an $800 PRV month. That would be awesome. That's a great month. And do you think that if you had that many customers and that many orders, that you might meet somebody that wants to join your team? Quite possibly. Now, what if those 4 entries were $500 and then you had a $2,000 month and you maxed out the compensation plan? Well, you're probably going to have a recruit out of that, or you're going to flip one of those. Maybe you don't get to 2,000, but you got a new team member who's already at shooting star. So there's all these opportunities. Okay. So that's kind of your long goal when you're thinking about your month. Okay. So when we did this as a program, that was kind of the homework, to keep your eye on the prize, 4 entries and 1 recruit. During the second week of that month, think about follow-up and your PRV pace, okay? Meaning, do you have a follow-up system? Have you developed one yet? That would be a week where maybe you do some follow-ups. You also gather some more orders, which could ultimately be one of those 4 entries that you're shooting for, okay? There's all kinds of follow-up systems, and you can learn about all of those in our workstation and all over the place. Check in on your 500 by the 15th, because we're in the second week now. How close are you? Are you getting there? How many entries do you have in? Look at your social media. How are you using your social media? Are you utilizing it? Maybe you're not a big social media person. That's okay. There's other ways to market yourself. So you just have to kind of get comfortable with whatever you choose. I always say, pick your poison and just be consistent. It's not always what you pick, it's if you're consistent, because there's a lot of people I know in my life that do this and this and this and this, and they're not good at any of it. But there's one person or 2 people who do one thing really good, and that's kind of how we get overwhelmed. I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that and that and that, and then you're not doing any of them well, when in actuality, those people you plucked from, they've mastered that one thing. Make sense? So don't overcomplicate it. Don't overthink it. Second week, you would be wanting to think about, did I do a follow-up system? Do I have a follow-up system? And am I utilizing it? So now you're already halfway through the month. So week number 3, this is a time when I like to call it self-evaluation and make adjustments. I did a presentation on the 3 A's, and that was, you have an assignment, you align yourself to do that assignment, and then you have to make adjustments sometimes, because sometimes things just don't work out. Like people hosts cancel their parties, right? Events get canceled. All kinds of things have happened in the last 2 years, right? So we have to be flexible. You can't feel sorry for yourself and just fold. You have to figure out how to adjust in life. So you ask yourself, am I on track? Okay, did I get my 500? Was I super close? Am I almost there? What could I be doing differently? What's working? What's not working? Maybe you need a new goal. Maybe you hit your 500 and now you have to set a new goal and go, you know what? I'm going to put in $1,000 PRV this month. Have you met it? Can you get there? PRV boosters. This is my favorite thing. This we're going to come back and ask you guys about. PRV boosters in the 3rd week of the month. So let's say you've got your 500, but then you say, I'm going to put in 1,000, right? How am I going to get that? I only have 1 more party left on the books. I don't know if it'll be $1,000 party. So how about some PRV boosters? Ideas would be mystery hosts, swagger grab bags, personal Scentsy promotions, right? These are all opportunities to get different kinds of products into your customers' hands. So like if you had a mystery bag, right? And then you put like a Scentsy Fresh in there, or you put a mini fan diffuser in pods, whatever the price point, these are all opportunities to widen your database and to get some extra PRV that you didn't think you would have that month. This all happens during this adjustment week, okay? You could have a spontaneous open house or garage, right? So when we did the program, the homework this week would be PRV fillers. What do you do to advance your PRV when you're trying to hit a certain goal? Okay, so now we're at the last week, the 4th week of the month. Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. You're at the end of the month. You're really repeating that last week of the month. Okay, you continue You continue what you've been doing, and you're going to continue your habits, repeating the prep for the next month cycle. It's really just a cycle every time. Think about what's coming, what's going to sell out, what did sell out. Did you flip anybody? Did you offer the opportunity? Did you write it down? Sometimes when we have accountability, like anybody who's ever done a nutritional plan and they tell you to journal your food, it's quite annoying and it's quite telling, right? Because you're like, dang it, it's accountability, right? So we know when we write down who we talked to about the Scentsy opportunity, and you're like, I did only talk to one person this month, so I can't be too cranky about it because I really didn't try hard. I didn't make opportunity packs, or I didn't tell my host they could flip, right? So this is all habitual behavior, you guys. So let's just recap this, okay? At the end of every month, you look forward. You think about the month to come, right? What am I going to do? How can I front load my month? First week of the month, you're laying the groundwork. I'm going to get 500 by the 15th. Do I need to do another blitz? Who do I need to reach out to? Do I have a follow-up system? I'm putting 4 entries in this month, no matter what. And I really like at least one new recruit. Week number 2, follow-up. Implement the follow-up system. Hit those people back. I can make a whole party out of a follow-up day for sure. And usually it's, oh my gosh, I was just thinking I need to call you. So you have to have something that's not what you think is a follow-up system, but a solid systematic thing that you do where you're paying attention to how many days, weeks, or months it's been since that customer ordered from you. Third week, self-evaluation, make adjustments. Do I need to shoot higher? Do I need to keep working hard? Am I there? What do I need to do? What Prv boosters could I be using? And the last week, rinse and repeat. Okay, continuation, you are making sure that you hit all your goals for the current month, and then you're looking forward to the next month. So again, these are just like any habit, right? It's hard to break a bad habit and it's hard to start a new good habit. And I know this is super annoying, but I always compare it to health and fitness, right? So when you are working on changing your habits, right? Good, bad, or otherwise. People just want to work out more. They want to eat better, or their doctor told them they got high blood pressure, whatever. We've all been there. So you have to make some adjustments, and it's hard. And you have to ask yourself, like, when you have a goal, I'm here and this is what I want to do. What are my actions that I'm going to take to get to here, right? And it really is about putting it on paper. That's why we call it an action plan. There's like several actions. If I wanted to, get healthier, I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week and I'm going to cut sugar. Okay. Well, I'm still kind of eating a little bit of sugar and I got to the gym once a week. Am I going to get my goal? Maybe, but I'm not going to get it in the timely manner that I had planned in my action plan, because that's where that consistency comes in. Does that make sense? So for me, I say that once you work this a few months, then it starts to become habit. You start to just know, my first month, I got to hit the ground running. And then I got to do this. And then where am I at? I got to make some adjustments. Things didn't work out the way I thought they would. And then at the end of the month, where am I at? How can I get there? And what am I doing next month? Find your lane. Like I was saying at the beginning, figure out what you're good at and use it. That's your God-given gift. Use it. You don't have to be like me or Callie or Jody. You have to be like you. You have to be the best you can be. And you do have gifts. Maybe you haven't even discovered them yet. I mean, again, like if you're keeping that ceiling high, you're going to discover all kinds of things about yourself that maybe you never thought you could be good at. And then there you'll be, and you'll be so proud of yourself. And I just think that everybody has something to offer this business. And you can too. So, I was going to say now, Callie and Jody, if they want, we can talk about any of the weeks. Like maybe people want to talk about what they do to front load their month. What do they do for their follow-up system? What would they do for an adjustment or to fill up their PRV? Like if you were $100 away from your PRV goal, what kind of things do you do? Those would just be really great questions. I would love to hear what other people do to beef up their month.
Well, yes, first I have to say this is incredible because I am totally a week by week person as well. A lot of things I also think about as a leader is like, you know, the first week of the month is recognition for me, right? The second week of the month is this. And I kind of break it down even just for my team, but then I also sprinkle the customer stuff in. So as a leader, think about that also. And so thank you. Because I also feel like when we set something on a specific day, that can be overwhelming because if we miss it, then everything's thrown off, right? But if we give it ourselves a week, you have that entire week. So yes. I love that you shared this today. Yes, definitely. Let's go through some of those things that you guys do. Is there things that you do? I mean, some of you like that you dump, they're like, okay, now that I'm thinking I do this in my business, this is a week that it would apply those types of things.
Do you want them to use the chat, Miss Callie, or would you like them to go ahead and
probably the chat just so it doesn't get super chaotic. Okay. And then there's also the chat on Facebook. We can kind of read those off. Stephanie, yes, I can. So my brain is a little foggy today. I have a cold. So as you can tell, even words aren't functioning appropriately for me, or they're not coming out the way that they should. So I have that broken down, and I will get that and post that in the monthly movement.
Callie, what was her question?
She was just saying, can you share your breakdown for your leadership questions? So, or your leadership, I literally can't talk, your leadership weeks.
Oh, I just realized if I click the plus sign on the chat, it blows the whole thing up and I can actually read it. You guys see me all night doing this, trying to read it. And oh my goodness. Okay. Sorry, total squirrel moment, but now I don't know how to get back to my screen. So there's that. Oh, here we go. Okay. Is there anything else we missed in here? Everyone's really liking the bite-sized goals. And I think that's important to remember because when you look at any goal, if you look at a goal and you say, I want to sell, I'll do easy 500. For somebody who doesn't maybe have a great customer base yet, or they're new, that $500 can be really, really big and seem so far out of reach. But when you break it down, and I really loved your word of entries, because when we use the word party in reference to a $200 entry, it can be confusing. So looking at the $500 PRV goal, if it looks too big for you, bite it down. What if you had two hostesses, two entries, so to speak, and they were each $250? Two sounds a whole lot better than 500. And it automatically, I believe, it like tricks my brain into believing that's so much more attainable than I need 500. And another thing that we've talked a lot about in Thursday Night Shift is going for the party, not the sale, right? Again, that $500 goal, the $2,000 or the $2,500, whatever you're looking at, is going to seem more daunting if it's collected one by individuals. Yes, we want follow-up. Yes, we want random PWS orders. Yes, we want Scentsy Club orders, and those are individual type orders. But the fastest way to get your PRV to hit your goal is to have parties. And that's not the only benefit that you're going to have from parties. As you all know, they all marry together. When you have parties, you meet new people, you get new club members, you get new team members, you get more hostesses, everything grows from that. If we were only to sell to the people that we immediately know, we wouldn't actually have a business. And that's okay if that's what you want to do. A lot of people do this business for the hobby, for the discount. And I'm not disclaiming that, but if you truly want to make more money, you have to open your doors. Walmart and McDonald's cannot stay open if they were only to sell to the people that they knew. They would have to shut their doors. It just wouldn't work, right? This is no different. Just because your business is more online or in a virtual setting doesn't mean that you don't have to unlock the door to your makeshift brick and mortar building. People have to know that you're there. They have to know that you're consistent. They have to know they can count on you, and that no matter what, you're going to be there to service them. That sounded bad. To serve them or service them, but you know what I'm saying. So I don't
know, Jody. What do you mean?
Gotta break down the goals. It's really important. And if you want to service, whatever, do what you got to do. But goals can very much be overwhelming if that's the only thing we look at it. We have to take one stair at a time. Losing weight. I'll use another because it is easy to make the correlation or the connection with health and weight loss. You want to lose 100 pounds, you want to lose 10 pounds. That's a lot of work, right? Sometimes it's hard to see the end goal. So if you're wanting to lose 100, you're like, I want to lose 5 this month and I want to lose 5 next month. And then you realize that in a year you will hit that goal. But if you just look at the end, it can be like, it can seem impossible, and we have to make it seem possible.
And I think that's a great point, Jody. And it's also human nature, you guys. A lot of people call it, the silver bullet. They just want the silver bullet. They want an answer, just fix it. And no matter what it is. And that doesn't happen in relationships. It doesn't happen with things we want in life. It's so true that those little digestible bites are so much more worth it. And what you're doing is creating the habit, right? I have had a lot of team members over the years, and I just say they shoot out of the cannon, and you think, oh my gosh, yes, she's going to do it. She's going to be a director. She's going to be awesome. And then they just have like a couple bad months, or they just, whatever, it's this business cycle, and they quit. So it's also a race of perseverance to me. Like there's just in life, like you have to persevere. Like it's not always going to be easy and it's not always going to be perfect, but you will get over that bump and go to the next level. You'll keep going if you keep going. See, a lot of people, when the going gets tough, they just quit. So honestly, not quitting is half the battle here. You're going to have better years than other years. But it is kind of an interesting observation with different personalities. And you see how people just like, they're only okay right here. Like they're never okay just being human and making a mistake or losing a team. I mean, we don't even have control over our downline. Like there's only so much you can control. One of the things you can control is your PRV pace, and what you're doing with your business. And like Jody said, anytime you have an entry, anything you do, I mean, a lot of people go, well, I'm home with kids all day. Oh my gosh, I was home with kids all day. And the only time I was out, I was teaching theater to like 10-year-olds, and they don't have any money to buy Scentsy. So that was that, right? So, I mean, I had to live, my business was born on like basket parties, but that's how I built those relationships, because then it was my job to reach out to those people and say, oh, you bought off of Jennifer's party and yada, yada, yada. You guys know the drill, but it's definitely fair to say you have to keep your chin up, stay above water, just keep swimming.
Well, and it goes back to what you said earlier too, Teri, about be careful of the story that you tell yourself. And I know we have talked about that plenty of times, because the way we talk to ourselves is usually not how we would talk to anybody else in our life, even sometimes our enemies. So we can be really hard on ourselves. So to go back to what you just said about, the person who's like, I have 4 kids at home and I can't do it. That's actually my favorite thing to debunk, because when I started, I had 4 kids at home, and it was the exact reason why I made myself successful, because it gave me a reason to go out of the house. Right. And I had I had a strong why, and that why was to give them a life that I didn't have. And I don't mean to put my parents down for that, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I just wanted to give them more, like every parent wants to, but I never knew how I was going to do that until I realized I don't really like to be told what to do. I don't like to work for other people. I don't like a schedule. And this Scentsy thing kind of eliminates those things for me. And it will allow me to create a life I want if I'm willing to go for it. So the story that you are telling yourself 1,000,000% matters, whether it's good or it's bad. And I'm sorry about that light behind me. I don't know why that's doing that. It's like the heavens are shining down upon me tonight, but we know that ain't happening, girls. So again, it matters what you tell yourself, good or bad. And then the other thing that I really want to like drive home is consistency. You can't be in this business all in for, a couple months and then dip out for a little while because you're bored or things get hard. And we know life happens. But you can't do that with your real 9-to-5 job, because if you did that, I'm going to go with you're not going to have a job. So this is no different. If this business, if you treat it as a business, you guys, it really will pay you as one and then some. Like most of us are making money we would have never made at a career. You think we ever thought we would? Absolutely not. But we showed up when it was hard. We stuck out the fall of 09, which was terrible. If you were here, you know, just being consistent. When things get hard and you need to take a small break, go ahead and be honest. We talked about, you said that earlier too, Teri, like own your mistakes. You're not perfect. Your team doesn't want you to be perfect, or they don't, if they see you as perfect, they're automatically going to be like, oh, I'm not qualified.
Yeah, Orville said that one time at Summit.
Mhm.
He said it to us directly. He's like, listen, you guys, you're very knowledgeable. You've been with Scentsy for a while. We ask you to train, yada, yada. He goes, if you put yourself on this pedestal and you look like little Miss Perfection up there that never had a bad Scentsy day.
Mhm.
I mean, come on. Like who,
It's
I mean,
unattainable.
I literally want to go up there and like burp or something. I just want to be like, hi, hi, I'm here. Like,
Right.
please don't think I'm perfect because I am so not. But that's the thing. When you're authentic,
Mhm.
I know we can't talk about our copyrighted stuff at our Disney leadership, but I really loved how many times they used the word authentic. It made me really proud of our company because
Mhm.
that is a consistent thing that I think everybody needs in their life, especially I'd say now, you know, teaching teenagers mostly now,
Sure.
the social media and the need to be perfect and compare yourself and all the things, and we all talk about it, and I know people say, yeah, but then you get to a certain age and you don't care. But you know what, it's hard when it's like in your face all the time, you know, don't get old, don't get fat, don't get, it's so annoying. And it's like for young people to already have that pressure, and then it's just expands. So why would you ever not want to be duplicatable to your team, right? I mean, like, I want my team to think they can do exactly what I do because, like, she's talking about fall of '09. I was just like, I think ignorance was bliss because I was like, oh, the workstation's not working. Like,
Oh, I don't have any orders.
yeah, I mean, seriously, I had my sponsor more than once call me literally and say, so Teri, you're gonna double promote. This is in the beginning because I was just signing people up and having fun. So I go, oh, what's that mean? She goes, go get your catalog. Like, I didn't know because I wasn't paying attention, but
Yeah.
I look back at those times and I know I built my business on pure joy for Scentsy, pure
You're
enthusiasm for
like
our
the cutest little, you're like freaking Tinkerbell.
no, but,
I
no,
built
but
my
I
business
literally
on pure joy. Who says that, Teri Newman?
wait,
I
let me
love
fly
you.
off. I'm just kidding. No, no, I literally had no plan.
Oh,
So I always say that not to make fun of myself,
yeah,
but it's the truth. That is my
right.
authenticity right there. So the thing is at the end of the day, if you love what you do and don't overanalyze yourself and make adjustments and you look at your month, don't let weeks go by and then stress at the end, you're going to be able to master this.
Mhm.
Easy. Easy.
I love this breakdown.
Good.
14 years in, and this breakdown just spoke to me. Like, I know this, I front load. I just never broke it down like this. So it's
Neither
always
did I.
interesting that we can kind of hear the same information, but with a different presentation or a different spin on it, and it can just click in a different way. And for me, I'm already like, okay, so how can what can I do with this? And how am I going to teach my team how to do this? I just love the simplicity of your plan. So I appreciate that. And I have not been watching the chat, Kelly, only because it's really small and I can't read it. I don't know where my glasses are. So you have to help me.
I'm trying to think. So I'm just like reading. So I think that there are some quick little questions, but they're not necessarily pertaining to this specific topic.
Okay.
So like what is the difference between what y'all are calling it basket parties and what the workstation says? Oh, basket parties are just regular parties.
Mhm.
My brain is not firing, I'm telling you.
Yeah, like basket parties, we just have all this terminology. This is the best part of Scentsy, you guys. I didn't do any other direct sales, but the best part of our company is that you don't have to carry inventory. You don't have to demo. You don't have to have all these things, physical things. Of course, if they smell it, it's the best, of course. So when they told me about basket parties or pouch parties or purse parties or whatever you want to call them, couple catalogs, order forms, some testers. You don't even need to put all your testers in there, right? So that would be an entry. You go give that to somebody, they take it to Bunko and PTA and sports and their family and their neighbors, come back with $400 worth of, orders. We know this. That is a gift. I mean, how many companies can do that? Like, we have all these really great ways to party, as we say, right? So I love that, because again, that could be something you pull out of your hat that third week. You have somebody cancel, or you were supposed to do an event or whatever, and then you just hit up one of your hostesses or bring it to your salon, bring it to wherever and say, hey. Yeah.
I mean, I remember back in the earlier days, especially when, I was really like killing some home parties. If a hostess canceled on me at the end of the, close to that end of the day, or I really liked it when I was getting ready to walk out the door, I would just be like, yo, I've got an open night. Who wants to smell some stuff? Right. People want to smell it, and just getting it under their nose is all that it takes. So figure out a way to do that. Call it what you want. But I will be using the term entries when I explain what a party means in reference to 200 PRV. 200 PRV, for, in case we've lost anyone, is what we call a party, because that's where the hostess rewards start to kick in. But it could be one person ordering 200. It's still considered a party because it's at that benchmark of 200 PRV. So love it, Teri. Did we miss any questions? Does anybody have anything that they want to add? Because I do know we're getting to the top of the hour, and we do have one other quick thing we want to mention. But I want to make sure we got everybody's. I found reading glasses. They're helping.
I'm scrolling back up. I think we're good.
Okay.
I love all the stuff people shared about what they do at the top of the month, and so great.
Just making sure. I'm just kind of browsing through. So I think we're caught up, Cal. Thank you guys for being patient with us tonight. I do like this. I like this format that we're just kind of going back and forth a little bit. It's kind of fun and interactive. But before we wrap up, Kelly and I decided kind of last minute, we wanted to share something with you that we were working on. I'm a little hesitant to share it with you because we have the queen of Jotform on with us tonight, and I really don't feel qualified to share this video because Miss Kimberly Polita is here, and she is honestly the queen. I'm kind of blushing at Jotform, but I made a silly 3-minute video on how to import a Jotform. Because here's the thing, guys, there's so many LTOs coming out, and I know that it can be busy and overwhelming, and we really don't have, if you're working a full-time job and things like that, it's hard to find the time to market that, reach out, follow up. You probably don't have time to create a Google or a Jotform. So utilize the ones that your leaders or other leaders are making for you. They're done. There's no reason not to use them. And it's so simple how you actually import a Jotform that I'm going to, in a minute, I'm going to pull up my screen and I'm going to share a video, and hopefully it will play pretty well.
While she's getting that, Teri, we just really want to say thank you so much for coming on tonight and for sharing your awesome. Yes, I'm seeing the hands clap and the smiley faces, because genuinely, like, again, such simplicity, yet so profound. So
great. I love that you called me profound.
Always. You're
pretty profound, Teri Newman. You're pretty profound. All right, guys, I'm going to start my screen and hopefully everything is PG. It is PG. I'm kidding. It's always PG.
I'm hoping not. Okay.
It is. Okay. No laughing. I don't even want to watch this. I might have to go to the other room, but here you go.
No, you're cute.
Oh, I have to start it over. Hold on. Here we go. All right, guys, welcome to a quick training on Jotform. In case you don't know who I am, excuse me, I am Jody Farmer, and I'm just trying to get everything in order here to pull it up. And this little bar keeps getting in my way, so let's move that. So this Jotform is something that's already been created for a pre-sale for Monday's Lion King. And I just wanted to show you how to use a Jotform that's already been done, how you can use it, okay? So when you see a link, I'm gonna go ahead and copy this link and I'll drop it in, say, Facebook or in a chat or whatever the case may be. And then I'm going to go over to JotForm. Hopefully you already have an account. If you don't, I highly suggest that you do get one. There are free ones. Create a form. You want to import a form. You also will then choose from a web page. And then all you simply do is you copy the URL, you paste that URL. You hit create form. It does its magic. From here, this is now your form. What you're gonna do from here is make sure that any personal information that's not relative to you is changed. You're gonna add anything that you want or delete anything that you don't want. Now this, for example, this Scentsy Club is a hyperlink. It's going to take them to my website. So make sure you change that. Anything up in here, maybe if you wanna check for the headers to make sure that there's nobody's personal information, phone number, website, things like that. Just scan the form to see if there's anything else that you need to change or add, because you can do that safely from where you're at right now. So I'm just doing a quick check, kind of showing you what this looks like. Now, when they hit submit, this is very important. When they hit submit right now, the way that this form is sitting, it's going to take them to my Scentsy Club page on my website. And how you're going to change that is go right up here to settings. Click on settings. Over here on the left, it's going to say thank you page. This is where you can say, show a thank you, and you can kind of type up what it is you want that to say. There's an airplane going overhead, so I apologize. Or you can redirect them to an external link. And you can see right here that this URL is directing them to jody.scentsy, which takes them to my Scentsy Club. It's that easy. Just make sure you change all private information. Once you're done, you simply hit publish, you copy that link, and then you send that out to your customers. Now, I will use this a couple of ways. I'm actually going to put it on my, I'll put it in my VIP page. I'll use it on my stories with images of the product that's coming out. I will also send a project broadcast to all of my customers with the pre-order link. So that way I'm making sure that everybody that possibly wants that information has the information and can easily access and order any limited time offerings. And it is important when we have an LTO like this, that you do mention the importance of Scentsy Club. So very simple, very quick tutorial. I hope that it made sense. I hope you all enjoyed all of that. And if you have any questions, just hit me up. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Now that the Samsung Galaxy Note
sorry
series
about
is
that.
officially
Hold
no
on.
more, is this
don't
really
even know where that's coming
RIP for
from.
the Samsung Galaxy
Perfect.
Note? What?
Yes, I'm a Samsung lover, so that is what's going to be playing. There we go. Okay, so I apologize that I just messed that up. I was trying to grab a link for you guys because I want to drop this link unless you've done it.
I already dropped a link, Joe.
Perfect. So that's what I was trying to grab when I remembered y'all were watching my screen and that you can see all of that. So sorry, but there's the link for a jot form so that you guys can go ahead, personalize it. And this again is another, like when Teri was saying, you know, when you're pacing out your first week, if you're not quite at the mark that you want, and we have LTOs coming out, this is another way that you can add PRV. These are LTOs are the cherries on top. Heather has mentioned that 100 times. Our catalog, our base products, those are what we are, you know, selling all of the time. When we get an LTO, that's just more PRV that we're adding on to what we've already gotten planned because we front loaded our month based on what Teri just taught us, right? So use these jot forms. We're not going to go into project broadcast. I think we have done a training on that. You guys can look that up. If you haven't, they have a ton of great trainings and it's very, very beneficial in most of our businesses. So are there any other questions about what Miss Teri talked about or the quick little video that is on YouTube and you can find it on my channel? Kimberly, did I do okay? Thank you. I learned from you. So with all of that, I think we're caught up. Teri, you're the sweetest. Thank you for helping us. We really appreciate your help. We know it was kind of short notice. We knew you were going to be fabulous. We knew we wanted you as a guest speaker and you just,
You're so funny. You guys are
really-
the sweetest.
no, you.
I'm
you
happy
really did a great
to
job.
help always. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate you. I know we all appreciate you showing up tonight for us. So thank you for pouring into us, giving us tons of nuggets. I have a lot of notes and I'm excited to review them. So
And anybody on here can reach out to me on Facebook. If you have any questions or you missed part of it or didn't understand something, I'm happy to answer your questions.
Well, real quick, Miss Terry, did you say somewhere on YouTube did you have this more expanded? Am I wrong on that?
No, I don't have it
Okay,
on
my bad.
YouTube. We did a program a couple different times, but I'm happy to share notes and breakdowns. Easy. It's so easy and it's so fun. And it really did help. It helps your leadership. It helps you be a better leader. And it also obviously is helping your team members with their consistency moving forward and trying to go up the ladder.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And all of you guys, thank you again for spending some time with us on Thursday night. We know we're probably not the first thing you want to do on your list, but hey, you're here and we appreciate you. So thank you so much for joining us. And we will see you guys all the 12th. Next Thursday is the 12th. We'll see you at same time, same place. Thank you guys all so much. Good night, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Have a great week.
Thank you.